we mobilized, sort of like a dry run.
That's right, that's right.
Just to see if we can do it.
That's right.
Because some of us don't even believe you can challenge the oppressor.
Yeah.
Some of us don't believe you can force him to do what he doesn't want to do. So we organized something called the Caravan for Justice.
That's right.
We started out with about 500 people from 7 or 8 areas in Northern California. Then about a month later, we came back with a couple thousand people.
Come on.
And all of a sudden, you can see the windows in the state capitol cracking open, and people want to know, who is that?
Right.
And then we made courtesy calls on members of the Black Caucus, members of the Latino Caucus, members of the Asian Pacific Islander Caucus, members of the Progressive Caucus.
Okay.
And told them, we want you all to sit in a room with the leadership representing each constituency group that came together. And do you know, they agreed to do that? Some of you attended that meeting?
Yes, sir.
And guess what some of the legislators told us in that meeting? They said, you know, this is the first time in our history that all of us have come in a room like this. And it was about 30 of them that came in and out between legislative sessions.
That's right.
And they privately told us, you know, this is the best thing that's ever happened to us because some of us realize we are slaves.
Come on now.
Man.
Come on now.
Some of us realize that we are bought and paid for.
That's right.
Hey, say it like that. The cold word. Yeah.
Cold word.
Why did they really want some of them to be free? But they're afraid if I stand up, I'll be targeted.
Right.
By the unions, by the lobbies. Not the farm worker union, but by the big corporate unions that are professional at what they do to get benefits for the fat cats.
That's right.
And leave the poor people in their current condition. So even becoming part of a union today, this is not the union of your great-grandfather. Unions today are political animals at the top. And right within the union movement, there has to be reform. We learned in San Francisco that the little brothers and sisters who cleaned the hotels, who did the things the manual way, they had one consciousness, but the leadership was wired into City Hall, wired into the Democratic Party, wired into the business developers in the downtown fat cats.
Okay.
So they would make decisions that even went against the rank and file of their own union. See, at the highest level in the civil rights community, some of our organizations are bought and paid for. And we're going to have to get them back.
That's right.
Some of our leadership are literally buffers for the oppressor. Some of our leading figures are too afraid to challenge the status quo. You know why? Because there's no foot somewhere. Right?
Come on.
You got to have a foot somewhere. So I'm saying to our Latino family, you are not illegal. jury excluded all blacks. I mean, are we in Alabama, 1950? Or Simi Valley, Los Angeles, 1990-something? It ain't much different. But not one peep. Where's the call for the Justice Department? Come on. Where's the call for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund? Where's the ACLU? Where are the organizations saying, wait a minute, something is wrong here? Why didn't the DA present preemptory challenges when they were moving blacks off the jury? Because they know one black conscious person dealing with police can hang a jury. Because we know the police pretty well. Right? How could that happen? And the Black Caucus be silent?
That's right.
How could that happen? And Congressperson Barbara Lee be silent? How could that happen? And Sandra Swanson be silent? And good brothers and sisters, I believe that. I like them. But I'd like for them to stand up. Or Venezuela. Man, and don't have nothing to say about injustice in West Oakland. See, it's easy to talk globally, but it seems to be a little more difficult to talk locally. It's good to be a citizen of the world, but it's better to, do some home housekeeping.
That's right.
So I'm calling on all of us. If your issue is police reform, then you can find refuge on the branches of this tree. Jesus gave a beautiful parable. He said the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a mustard seed.
Yes, sir.
If you've ever seen a mustard seed, it's very small, very insignificant looking. You'd have to look for it in your head.
That's right.
That's how small it is. He said, but the mustard seed, when it is planted and it grows, it becomes a tree. And if you've ever had real mustard, there's a power in mustard. Blow a hole through your nose.
Listen.
I ain't talking about French's mustard.
No, sir.
I'm talking about real mustard. The stuff that they make mustard gas with.
Power.
But when it becomes a tree, it becomes that which the birds of the air can find refuge in.
Yes, sir.
If your issue is death penalty reform, come on to this tree. If your issue is prison reform,